Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm excited to be doing a collab with my friend Craftie. And I'll begin by showing you how to make some beautiful calendar ornaments out of Dollar Tree calendars. And Craftie has a wonderful tutorial that will show you how to make simple bead dangles to put on your calendar ornaments. So I'll be sure to give you a link with all that information in the drop down bar below, and also on my blog. Okay, so what I did was each year I generally scout out the Dollar Tree calendars, and I look at the pages to see if there's different images and whatnot that I can use in creating different craft projects. So this is an example of a calendar that I'm using for 2017 right now. And if you look on the back, they always have these beautiful little photos. And when they're condensed down like this small on the back, it just has so much detail. And it looks so pretty. So this is just an example. And so I had some other calendar pages put away from other calendars that I bought at the Dollar Tree maybe a year or two back. I'm not exactly sure on that. So I decided that I was going to be punching out some of the images in the back, and of course I'm using my 1.5 inch scallop punch by Marvi Uchida, so I'm not going to get the entire picture, but I kind of punched out my favorite parts. And right now these don't look like much, but I guarantee you once you finish them they turn out really beautiful. And I'll give you an example of some of the ornaments that I did. They punched out from the pictures on the back of the calendar. This is a little Eiffel Tower one. I thought this was cute. It turned out really nice. And I used German glitter glass to get this beautiful sparkle. And I'll give you information on that a little later on. And I also used the Triple Thick by Americana. This stuff is really great. And it's cheap. This is about $1.97 for a bottle like this. And you can pick this up in the same section as where they sell all the little Americana paints, you know, and the folk art paints in the craft stores. So this is one example, and I'll lay this down here. And then another picture I punched out on the back was this little butterfly, and I added these little charms right here. And then I have another one. This has a little bird cage, and I just used a little connector charm there. Like that. And then I punched out one with a couple little sparrows. I thought that was really pretty. And then lastly, I did another little bird cage, and this is just a bird cage with a little rose, and it may not look very fancy, but by the time you add the little charms, it really looks cute. And this little leaf charm here, I just glued on a couple of rhinestones and a little pearl with some E6000 to give it a little extra. So I thought these turned out really pretty, and I think they would look really lovely on a tabletop Christmas tree. So I'll begin by showing you how I started. Move all these little charms out of the way. So like I said, the first thing you're going to need is the little 1.5 inch scalloped edge punch. You can use any scalloped edge punch really, but this is just the one that I had on hand that I'm using. So I punched out a couple of cereal box pieces here, and the thinner the boxes, actually, the better, because you can stack them. This is an example. You know, you cut these out so I could use these. Okay. Now, so you're going to need 2 of those, and then you're going to need a piece of very ultra fine glitter cardstock. You can use that, or you can use the glitter printed cardstock like this with very fine glitter to it. You know, whatever you choose. So I'm just using the plain for today. And I think I explained this in my shabby chic ornament video. The reason why we're using ultra fine is because anything larger than this with your glitter will jam your punch, and you absolutely don't want that. So it's best to use this, or like the design that I showed you, where it's just some glitter, you know, in the design but not covering the whole sheet. Okay, so with that said, we're also going to need a little picture from the back of calendar, so let me get that. And there it is. Okay, sorry about that. Now, as you can tell, I pretty much chopped this to bit because I really like the images, but I thought this was really cute. These are little teacups. So I'm just going to position my scalloped edge punch and see about where I want it. Now, as you can see, I really can't go much further, so what I'm going to do is just going to cut off this piece so I can go a little bit further and decide how I want this punched out. Okay, so now I can really get in there. So I think I like the words tea party at the bottom. I really like the words share a cup of kindness at the top. I really think that's what I want. I want to punch it out about like maybe about here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now we have our piece, and that's going to turn out really pretty by the time we're finished. Okay, so we're going to be putting our pieces together, and I'm just gluing these back to back, and then I'm going to glue this on, and then the photo. So let's start by taking some Turbo Tacky Glue by Aleene's. And put a little bit like this. And we're just working from the inside out, like so, all the way around. Alrighty. Try to line up those scalloped edges the best we can. And just like the shabby chic ornaments, you might see a little bit of color in between there, but don't worry about that. So when we get finished, you won't see that. Okay, and then I want to put some glue on my cardstock piece. And of course, you don't have to have glitter on the back. If you want to just cut it out of cardstock with a cute little pattern or something like that, you can do that. You don't have to have it glittered. Okay. Try to line this up the best that I can. And then lastly, I'm going to put the photo on the front. brushing outwards like so. And then this on the front like so. Okay. Now we're going to try to line up the scallops the best we can. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but we're going to do the best we can, okay? And so now I'm going to lay this on a flat surface, and I'm going to put a very heavy book on top to allow this to completely dry. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want any of the edges to curl up, okay? So after this is 100% dry, we'll come back and I'll show you what else to do. Okay, so as you can tell, this is completely dried and it's rock hard. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of triple thick on this. Now I told you where you could find the triple thick in the craft stores. However, if you don't have access to a craft store, you can buy these online. You can also go on eBay and type in the words triple thick, and you will see these bottles like this and the big containers like this. Now, to be honest with you, when I looked on eBay, I thought that the bottles, what they were charging for the bottles was ridiculous. It was like $5 or $6 when you can pick them up for like $1.97 at the craft stores. But the big jars like this were running about $5.99. So that was free shipping too, $5.99 and $6.29 if I recall. So I thought that would be a much better deal if you're going to buy it on eBay. But you know, that's only if you don't have access to craft stores, because if you have access to craft stores, I'm sorry, then I would definitely go for, you know, the smaller ones. They're only $1.97, and you can use your coupon too. So with that said, I've yacked too long. Okay, so I'm just going to do this like this. So about like that, and you can use a brush or you can just use your finger. I just start from the middle like this and just kind of push it to the edge like this, and I haven't had any problem with it running over the edge. It's a nice texture, and I really like the fact that I don't have to worry about bubbles, because there doesn't really seem to be any bubbles. It's wonderful stuff. Okay, so I have everything out to the edge like so. Okay, I'm going to put that down like this. Now the funny thing is when I go to put the German glitter glass on, you really can't see anything. Once it dries like 100%, that's when you really see the beautiful gloss and the sparkle of the glitter. You'll see what I mean. This is German glitter glass, and you can pick this up on eBay as well. They're anywhere from $2.99 to $5.99. It just depends, you know, on who's selling it. And I believe they also call this diamond dust as well. But if you just type in the words German glitter glass, all kinds of this will pop up. And they have them in different colors, but for now, I just got the crystal clear one. I thought it really sparkled. Thought it would look nice. So I'm going to go ahead and open this jar here. And I'm just going to take this and sprinkle it across. Now, as far as I know, Michaels no longer carries this German glitter glass, and I put a fairly good amount on the top, as you can see. Let me pick that up. I'll show you. Put a fairly good amount. So I'm just going to set this aside, and I'm going to allow this to dry overnight. Okay? Now, excuse me, the triple thick actually dries fairly fast compared to a lot of different products, but I really like it to dry overnight, just so it'll be extra you know, set extra hard. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I started to tell you that Michaels used to sell this German glitter glass. In fact, Recollections is the one who put it out, and it had a lot of really beautiful vintage colors. And then I came in there one day looking for it, couldn't find it. Nobody seemed to know what I was talking about, even the sales girls. And I finally found one sales girl that knew what I was talking about, and she said that they no longer carried it because they were afraid of lawsuits, which kind of surprised me. Because, I mean, yes, there is an element of danger to it in the sense that if you have it on your fingers, you don't want to rub your eyes, you don't want to touch your face with it, you want to make sure that it's completely off your hands, because, I mean, these are little pieces of glass. They haven't cut me or anything like that, but they could definitely do some damage if you got it in your eyes. But I think that, you know, just like the German glitter glass, if you got glitter in your eyes anyway, whether it was glass or not, it was going to hurt. So, this is not a good thing for kids to use, of course, and for obvious reasons. But, anyway, I just wanted to share that info with you. I'm long-winded. Okay, so we're going to allow this to dry, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what else to do. Okay, so I allowed this to dry overnight, as you can see, and so the next thing we're going to do is add some veils. Now, it really doesn't matter if these are 15 millimeters long or 16 millimeters long, just as long as it's not gigantic. Now, when you go into eBay to purchase your bails, just type in the words glue-on bails, and you'll see a whole bunch of them pop up for different prices. So we're going to use some E6000 on this, and so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one of the bails here and glue it on the top, right about where I feel like it's the middle, right at the top. Okay, now I'm going to flip this over like so, and if you want to line it up, you can punch out a piece of computer paper, fold it in half, and then right on the line at the top and the bottom you can make a little mark, and that way you can kind of do this to line up your bails so they'll be, you know, even with each other from top to bottom. Now, someone asked me why didn't I just use the lines on my mat. That's a wonderful idea, but not everybody has a mat like this, so if you don't, then this is a way of doing it. Okay, so with the next bail, put a little E6000. Lose my voice here. Excuse me. Too early in the morning. Okay. And like I said, just kind of line it up with this, and it looks like it might go right about here. I want to make sure. So that's lined up pretty well, as you can tell. Okay, so now I'm just going to allow this to dry until it's rock hard, at least 12 hours I would think, and then we'll come back and we'll put the ribbon on and the charms. Okay, so before we put our charms and our ribbon on, I'm going to take a silver leafing pen. You can also use a metallic paint pen, but I like the leafing pens. And I know that I used the gold on these, but that's because it had more gold in the picture, So with this, I think I'm going to stick to a silver. So this pen is pretty old. I had to recently purchase a brand new gold leafing pen because it finally gave out. So I'm going to see if I can pump up enough of this silver here to do the job that I want it to do. It's barely making it. There we go. Now we're getting some. Okay, so now I've made a little puddle in there. And the reason why you want the puddle is because normally I would just go right around the scalloped edges like this, but I can't do that on this because it has the German glass glitter on here, and it would snag the brush. So what I'm doing is I'm just laying the brush like this right against the scalloped edges, and I'm just going and moving in an up and down motion like this all the way around, and that way the glitter won't snag my brush. I mean, yeah, I know it's pretty beat up to begin with because it's several years old, but I don't want it even more so. See how that's turning out? Just be careful not to touch it because you're going to need to let this dry for a while. So I'll probably put this in front of my little tabletop mini fan and give this a little bit of time to dry. I think that's important. Okay. So I'm just going to go right under there. Okay, make sure that it's all the way around, even. Just kind of touching up a few areas here. Okay, so that looks pretty good, I think. Alright, so now you see what we have. I don't know if you can see it well enough. Yeah. Okay. And see, when I slipped with my brush, that's what I did on the back. But that's okay. Once in a while that happens. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and then I'll come back and we'll put the charms and the ribbon on. Okay, so now our gold or silver leafing pen has dried, so we will be attaching charms as well as a ribbon. Now, before I do that, let me begin by reminding you that I'll be posting the link to Craftie's tutorial, where she'll show you how to make some really simple bead dangles for your calendar ornaments. And if you've never visited Craftie's YouTube channel, I really encourage you to do so, because she has all kinds of adorable and simple craft tutorials, from making bead charms to gifts in a jar, and she explains everything so well. Craftie's Facebook page is called Craftie Minds, and her blog is called Craftie Kaleidoscope. So I'll be sure to post all of Craftie's links in the Show More drop-down bar below this video, as well as on my blog. So please stop by and show Craftie some love by subscribing to her channel and tell her Happy Bird sent you. So with that said, I'm going to show you what I did. Now I used roughly 3 different charms for each one, because I wanted the charms, I wanted you to be able to see the charms. I didn't want to overload it, and these are meant to be a little more delicate anyway. So I always started with a 7mm jump ring, always, and I attach it to the bail. But from that point on, then I just attach a longer dangle with a shorter dangle. And this is called a connector charm because it's got a loop at the top and a loop at the bottom, so you can connect other charms to this charm. So I just used a little 6mm jump ring and attached this, and I took a 5mm and attached this tiny piece at the bottom, and another 5mm and attached this off to the side. And I have an example of some more connector charms here. This one. It's the same process. I always started with a 7mm jump ring and then just attached a little bead dangle that I made off to the side with a 5mm jump ring. And then I attached a connector charm with a 6mm jump ring, and then it just attached this with another 6mm jump ring. Now you don't have to be exact on the sizes of the jump ring. I'm just showing you what I used, and you know, but I mean actually there's no special rules as to what size jump ring that you have to use in these charms. Okay, and I did the same thing here. One little bead dangle off to the side, connector charm, and a little teardrop bead that I made here. And this one, I made this little angel charm, and it was large enough where I thought that it only needed one charm of this and then one little dangle charm off to the side. And with this one, of course, I always started with a 7mm jump ring at the top, and then I just slid the key on and the heart together and put that on. And then this is a little check glass bead, little leaf that I put off to the side. I get a lot of my charms from eBay, and I pay dirt cheap. In fact, this is where I bought these charms. I'd like to hang this little teapot on there and this little heart, and I made these little bead dangles. Now I was thinking maybe I was just going to use 3 like all the rest of them here, but I might use 4 because these are awfully small. We'll find out if I need it or not. Now I didn't want to gather all of these up on one jump ring into one big bunch like this and have it hang like that. I didn't think that would look good. So what I did was I cut off about 1 inch of chain, and then I'm just going to slip this on like so with a 7mm jump ring, because we always start with that, and I'm going to hook it onto the bail here. Make sure it's closed. So then it looks like this. And I'm just going to hang the charms from this. Like here, here, here. Okay? I'll see if it works. I'm going to start with the little heart charm. And I have a little 6mm jump ring on that. So I'm going to open it up. And I think I'm going to hook it right here on the side of the chain. Oops, I'm out of frame. Sorry about that. Okay. So now I think I'm going to hook a little bead dangle . Yeah, maybe I'll use a 6mm jump ring for that one. Just my own preference. Okay. And I think I'm going to hook it right about here on this side. And you can just play with these. There's no hard and fast rules as to, you know, where to hang these, and perfect size jump ring. I'm just showing you what I did. I'm going to hang the teapot at the bottom and see if I need another bead dangle on there or not. I'm going to take a 6mm jump ring. This is 6 or 7, let me see. Yeah, it's 6. Okay. And I'm just going to hang that at the very bottom, like this. Okay. What happened to my other bead dangle? It fell off. See, that's what happens when I don't hook it properly. Okay. Let me try that again. Try right about here. Like I said, there's no hard and fast rules. There, that's better. Let's see, it's closed. Okay, yeah, I think I can hang another one. I'll hang it right about here. Yeah, maybe on this side. So I'll get another 6mm jump ring and just hook that on. Guys, you don't have to have the perfect beads and perfect this and perfect that. It's the experimenting that's fun. Okay. See, I don't like the way those two are hanging together, so I think I'm going to move this one up here. So see how I do that? I'm just experimenting as I'm going along. If you don't like something, you take it off and you just hook it up a little higher. I think I'll hook it up about, let me see, probably on this little one here. Yeah, I think that'll look better. Make sure it's closed. Okay, so I like that. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And I think it turned out really cute. So now I'm going to place the ribbon on here. And I have to tell you about this ribbon. This ribbon is so old that I've had it in there probably about 7 years now. And I bought these when they were dirt cheap on Fire Mountain Gem, on the Fire Mountain Gem website. And these were actually meant to make necklaces out of. So if you can look closely, you can see that it's interwoven and it's really strong because, you know, of course these were supposed to hang pendant from. So it's really nice and strong. I love this stuff. It's sheer but strong. And so I'm going to cut off about a foot of this. And when I'm making ornaments for Christmas gifts, I always measure the ribbon so the ornaments will look uniform in length. So I won't have one that's really long and one that's a little too short. And I love this stuff because even though it's sheer, it's so strong, and it doesn't fray. It doesn't seem to fray. Okay, I'm going to try not to go out of frame here. And I'm just going to tie one little overhand knot at the top and pull it like this. And then I'm just going to hook these two together like this and cut at an angle. Like that. See? You can see the top doesn't fray. It's awesome stuff. And I'm so glad I bought it when I did. At the time, I think I paid like $1.22 for each roll. And there's a lot on each one of these rolls. And I bought one in black and one in like a baby blue, so I'm glad I did. That's one thing I never really throw away is ribbon, because I figure as a crafter that's one thing that you'll probably end up using unless you have a ridiculous hoard full. Okay, so anyway, I like the way it turned out. I think it turned out cute, and I'll be sure and post pictures of this on my blog and on my Facebook as well. So I hope you enjoyed this craft, and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I have a lot more crafts to come. I'll be posting once a week from now through Christmas. So thank you, each one of you. God bless you all. Bye-bye.